What is going on YouTube? This is Eric Hutz for the win. I finally beat Shadow of Mordor. I took my time with it, honestly. I think I'm over 40 hours now, and I'm trophy hunting now. But I did beat it, and I thought the ending was okay. It wasn't that great, but it did leave an opening. Spoiler alert, by the way. It did leave an opening for more games. So I'm very excited, and I hope they make more. But like I said, I'm just trophy hunting now. That's probably what you're watching in this video. And I'm still having fun with the game, which is awesome. I'm getting Dragon Age Inquisition on Tuesday, and I'll get more into that in a little bit because we're going to talk about day one purchases. We're going to talk about this generation and how disappointing it's been when it's come to big games we were looking forward to and games that are released broken, unfinished, incomplete, etc., etc. We're going to get down to business in this video because this video is way overdue. If you guys have been following my channel since this generation has started, or before, but specifically since this generation has started, you've probably noticed that I've been doing my best to stay really positive. Even when it came to me selling the Xbox One, I could have used that opportunity to just bash on Microsoft, bash on the Xbox One. I did point out what I did not like about the system, but for the most part, I was pretty positive. I ended up saying, this system, it's just not for me. Nothing against Microsoft, but it's just not for me right now. Even when it came to actual disappointments like delays, for example, I stayed positive. I said, you know what, maybe it needs to be delayed. It's okay as long as the game is good and all of that. I would always try and be optimistic and try and be positive. I didn't want to be a Debbie Downer for you guys. I don't like Debbie Downers. I don't know about you, but I don't like them. I like to be hyped. I like to be excited. I like to stay cheerful, at least for this channel. I appreciate when people are cheerful, so I want to be cheerful for you guys. And it was genuine. I'm not saying it was fake or anything. I was genuinely positive and looking at the bright side. However, the more this generation continues and the more I see the delays and the incomplete games, like Destiny, for example, unfinished games, broken games, the more I see of that, and the more I see people's disappointment when it's not even my own, if I'm just on the sidelines, for example, Halo Master Chief Collection, there are people who still can't get into an online game. And it's Friday. And that game came out midnight on Monday. So it's like, I'm looking from the sidelines even and looking at the disappointment of others. And I'm just looking at this generation and thinking, damn, what happened? Like, really, what happened? All that positivity and optimism I have or had, it's kind of going away, and I'm starting to turn more skeptical. I'm starting to be more cynical, and I don't like that, and I hate to have to report that to you guys. Like, I really didn't want to be that way, but the reality is this generation is off to a really bad start. It really is, and it's been very underwhelming. Not just for me, but for many others. I was really hoping I would have bought like 10 games this year, but I've bought, I don't know, 2 or 3. I mean, really, I haven't bought a lot of games this year, and that's disappointing. When I look at the facts and I look at the numbers and I look at how many games I own right now and how many systems I own, I'm disappointed. I really thought I'd have all of them. I really honestly did. And it's not a matter of money or me being stingy because I don't want to spend the money. I had the money to buy these systems and I just chose not to because it was just underwhelming and there wasn't games that spoke to me and really made me want to get them. Shadow of Mordor was my biggest surprise this year. I absolutely love this game, but of course it's a multi-plat, it's not a exclusive. So that's kind of disappointing in a way. But I'm still happy with the game. I'm still excited for 2015. I still have hope for these games. However, we all have to admit, I'm sure all of us can, this generation is not really off to a good start. Like I was saying, incomplete games such as Destiny, where we can't even see the full story because we have to buy the DLC. Like, that alone is enough to make people pissed off. I made a video about it because I was just not feeling that. I don't like that. I think games should come complete. And DLC should come later. That should be extra maps or whatever else for multiplayer. Single player, I don't think that should happen. Of course, this is a different time period. We are in the age of DLC. Maybe I'm just getting old and this is, me just going back to my classic roots and I don't even know it and I want to be there instead of here. I don't know if that's the problem or if it just flat out sucks. It's like I'm torn between the two because I know it's a different age. Things are different now. But to have your story incomplete, just a non-story for your game because we have to buy the DLC, that's unacceptable. I'm sorry. That can't happen. Also, we have games that are just completely broken this week. Specifically, I mean, it was a horrible week for gaming. We have Assassin's Creed Unity, which I'm hearing is a good game. I don't have it, so I don't know, but I'm hearing the story's pretty good and all of that. But the performance, the frame rates are dropping like crazy and it's just broken in that way. There's a lot of glitches. I've seen pictures of like people's faces not even being there. It's just their eyeballs. It's like maybe I'll put that up on here. I don't know. But it looks funny, but at the same time if you paid for that, I mean, you're going to be pissed. You're going to say this game's broken. Then we have the Master Chief Collection where there's people who still haven't even gotten to an online game on there and it's Friday. That game came out Monday at midnight, and there's people still having trouble connecting to games. That is unacceptable. That is just horrible. And then also, I heard Sonic Boom is terrible too, and that game came out that day. So that might be like the worst launch day in gaming history, at least recently, as far as I can remember. That's pretty bad. That's not a good score for gaming. That is not good. I mean, there are so many examples this generation, this year, that I could list for you guys. I could be here for like 20 minutes just talking about all the examples of this generation that were either really disappointing or just really bad releases. The online was broken, the game's broken, the game was delayed. I mean, so many delays this year. It was ridiculous. I can't even think of 5 games that weren't delayed. If it wasn't a sports game, I don't even think I could come up with 3. That's how bad it was this year. Everything was delayed. And that's a good and bad thing, of course. Of course, if a game needs a delay, then it needs it. Evolve, for example, needs a delay. That alpha they put out was just terrible. Complete disaster, especially on PS4. We couldn't even get into a match. For 2 hours we tried one night and I was streaming it and everything and we were hopeful, we were trying all these tricks trying to get in and it just would not work. So that opened my eyes to how bad 2K is and their servers. They are just horrible. So I have decided I'm not even getting that game day one anymore. I can't. It's just, I don't trust 2K at all. It's too much of a risk. I'm going to wait a few days and see how the online is and see how it is. It's just not worth the risk. Dragon Age Inquisition, I wanted to talk about this real quick. The reviews are already out for Dragon Age, and this game comes out on Tuesday. I'm planning to get it. I can't wait for this game. But I wanted to talk about the fact that the review came out a week before, or the embargo was lifted, or whatever it is. People can review this game right now and put out a review, and that's a really good sign. And the fact that they're giving this game 8s and 10s or 9s, that's a really good thing, and I'm excited for this game. Assassin's Creed Unity, it wasn't so much the same. Their reviews couldn't come out till the day of when that game was released on Tuesday. Sometimes games even have reviews come out days later. That's a very bad sign. So I'm starting to look at it now in the way of when are these reviews coming out? Because that tells a lot about that game. That means if the review comes out early, then those developers are confident and it's a good game. If they come out later and the day of the release, that's a really bad sign. So I'm starting to keep that in mind. I'm starting to look at this generation with a lot of skepticism, which sucks, but that's the way it is now. And I kind of wanted to get your guys' thoughts on this. Has the failures and the problems and the broken games changed your guys' view on gaming? Are you thinking something's really wrong with this generation? Is it bothering you? Are you disappointed? Are you underwhelmed? I'm just curious where you guys are with all of this stuff. And I want your opinion because, like I said, I mean, I've been real positive. I've been trying to stay positive, but reality sets in. And sometimes you got to just come back to earth and see it for what it is. And this generation is just not looking good. Hopefully 2015... turns things around. There's a lot of games coming out next year, and hopefully, you know, hopefully they come through and they're not broken. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I felt like it had to be made. I had to get this out because this is just the truth. I mean, it's not looking good. There's a lot of problems, and hopefully it gets better.